like if the summer program was in person, like we would still have, if not like all of these, but many of these expectations. And the code of conduct is essentially pretty much the same, but essentially like we just want to avoid harassment, hazing, and we want to be respectful of everyone. Since the summer program's online this year, like cyberbullying is prohibited. And y'all know what that is because I'm sure y'all know the same rules at your high schools, middle schools, etc. So it's y'all's responsibility to contribute in a to the appropriate learning environment. Um, so just like how we are all right now, like professional courtesy, like be sensitive to all the content and respect individuals. So like just be presentable, like be mature, like y'all are going into your last year of high school. Like this is gonna be like the next step of y'all's life, and that professional courtesy aspect is very important for isn't a very important skill to have. Um, so the third point, inappropriate use of imaging, screenshots. So all that is like the cyberbullying part. Like now, like these things or these Zoom meetings will be recorded, and that's like the only form of media you should have of like these meetings. Um, and then students must adhere to the CU honor code. So violation of the honor code may include plagiarism, cheating, fabrication, lying, bribery, threat, unauthorized access to academic materials, and etc. So that's just the CU honor code that you would follow in person. That is still going to be implemented to you online as online students for the summer program. One next slide, yeah. And then here's just some more. These are more like the expectations that we have. So we would tell you these same exact things in person, but we want you to challenge yourselves, to advocate for your needs, especially like if you need any requests, like anything, like Wi-Fi, computer, anything, even like help with the class, anything, like you should advocate for yourself, and that is like something that you should be doing. Um, so agree to be an active upstander. Uh, So participants will follow staff, volunteer, and guest instructions. So just like, like just follow the instructions, raise concerns respectfully, like just like the needs, like you can speak up and advocate for yourself. Um, Complete assigned individual and group projects. So another thing, just be like really professional and be on time with your assignments and group projects. Like I know like because this is online, it may seem like you like don't want to do things, or it may be very easy to also just like zone off or like be procrastinate with things, but you need like to put in that effort that all your other students and peers are doing. So dress appropriately when on video, so just like how we do it in person, like it's the same thing, just dress appropriately, be respectful, and that's part of that like professionalism. And then engage in the digital environment, so like contributing when called, discussions, and like minimizing distractions, like especially like being on phones, um, and all that, like or doing other things on your computer, like just try and pay attention to everything, please. And then this is just some of the info. So the first day of classes will start Monday, June 8th, 2020, and the last day of classes is Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. And then we'll have the celebration on that Thursday, July 2nd. Um, yeah, I guess that's it for that slide.
Okay, hi guys again. So important items that you guys are going to be needing for to be successful during this program is a Chromebook, a computer, or a tablet. Anything that you have access to a camera, because we are going to be doing meetings face to face like this. So having a camera is essential. If you don't have any of these resources, you can talk to Amy or Victor, and we'll give their emails a couple of times throughout the presentation. So if you guys want to write those down and just shoot them an email if you need anything, we're here to help you guys. You guys will need Wi-Fi, internet connectivity, and then basic school supplies like notebooks, pens, pencils, calculator, etc. To take notes, just to do your homework, stuff like that. And then you guys will have Zoom and Google Classroom access and knowledge. You guys are all here today, so you guys are doing the first step right in Zoom. And then having a positive attitude, flexibility, and active participation. So I know that this isn't the same as what it would have been, but we all have to learn to adapt, and we all are going to be growing and making mistakes together. So we're all in this together, and hopefully we'll all get through it. Next slide, please. Thank you. Connectivity, if you guys need a computer, we're going to loan them out to you for the program, but make sure you take good care of them and just be careful with them in general, because we will be trying to use them again if this will have to continue if we have another summer program online. And then you could also request a hotspot from our program, and we'll be able to help take care of that as well. And then the goals of the summer program, providing academic counseling and support. So we're here for you guys, not just academically, but also after the program as well. So if you guys need help or have anything that you guys want to talk about, or if you guys need help just like figuring out stuff with high school, we've all been through it. At least one of us in this program has done something that you guys have probably gone through or will be going through, and we'll give you advice and help you guys out. And then having that leadership skills and personal development. So this is all new to all of us. So being able to just go and push your comfort zone and kind of go past that and try to grow as an individual. We're all doing the same, so we're all in that together. And then providing the program with tools. So just making sure that you guys, if you're participating, you're sharing your ideas, because it's good to hear other ideas from what everybody else is doing. And being able to hear other people's ideas besides our own is what helps us learn. And then establish collaboration with parents, guidance counselors, and the community. So just don't forget to talk to your parents about this and help them out too, because sometimes parents need a little help, or like they may not know, and it's really good for them to be able to be there to help support you in any way they can. And sometimes being able to tell them what you need is also really helpful. So yeah, thanks guys.
Cool. So up next is online etiquette and code of conduct. Many of the things were talked about from Leo, but just to go over: classroom civility, anything that would happen in the classroom in person will still be applied here in the virtual settings. Etiquette and respect, that ties into classroom civility, just being respectful towards each other, which ties into professionalism, what Leo talked about. And then clarity in speech and grammar, what that means is, as we will be using virtual sources, be sure that your tonality and your messages are clear, as it can be difficult to understand people's tone of voice when reading it through text compared to in-person talking. So just keep that in mind. And in regards to grammar, very similar to professionalism, be aware of your grammar, spell things out. Avoid using abbreviations like LOL or shake my head or things like that. Some abbreviations like FAFSA you are able to use, but just for the most part, try to use professionalism, as it'll come in handy later in life. And then there's professionalism, student names and pronouns. Here at CU Boulder, we are inclusive of people's name pronunciation, as well as their gender identity and sexuality and their pronouns. So just be aware of that. And then religious holidays. If you have a religious holidays that's coming up, do let us know. We'll work that out. Cool. And then here are some information about the class schedule of how it'll look like for the 4 weeks. So on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you will be having 3 classes, those being college prep, math, and writing or journalism in that order. And here you can see the time frame. Classes range from 1 to 3:05 p.m. in the afternoon. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll have an optional ACT or SAT prep class. Basically, that preps you for the ACT or SAT. And then after that, you have office hours or tutoring from 11 to 1 p.m. Now, in high school, you all don't really have office hours, but here in college, you do have office hours with your professors. So, and this is utilized to ask any questions for any assignments from your professor, or if you need help with anything else in class. And then you have a lunch break. And then after that, you have PC community time from 1:30 to 3 p.m. And what that is, it's pretty much you all getting to spend time with us PCs, kind of get to know you all, as well as build a foundation of relationship. So. And then another thing to know about class information is knowing the difference between synchronous versus asynchronous class times. Throughout the 4 weeks, there will be classes where they are synchronous. By that, it means you will have to log on through Zoom to attend the classes, and everyone will be there. If it were to be asynchronous, that means that you do not have to go on Zoom, but there will be work assignments assigned to you that you will have to do on your own time, and you would have to complete it within a certain amount of time. So that's the difference between synchronous and asynchronous.
Okay, and then I'll be going over class expectations. This is very similar to what Kyle and Leo just went over, but just treat each other with respect, treat us with respect. Just be mindful of who you're talking to. Everyone's experiences are different. They all come from different backgrounds. And then virtual recordings. Some instructors will record their lectures, but before we record anything, we will let you know. PC meetings, PCDP family meetings, and then tutoring sessions will not be recorded. But again, if we're going to record something, you guys will be first to know. And then virtual office hours and tutoring. So through PCDP, like, we want to give you the college experience. I feel like office hours and tutoring are the biggest things, especially for first year students. Like, when you're going to college, it's really hard to break that barrier between, you know, like, this is like my professor, and kind of like going to talk to them. So I would suggest to definitely take advantage of these. I think it would be really good practice for you guys. So office hours and tutoring will be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 1. You would have to meet with or set a time with your instructor before you do an online meeting if you need one. If you miss a class, make sure to set a time with your instructor. And then peer counselors, like, we're here to help you guys too. Like, we don't want to watch you struggle. We know that these classes might be a little harder than your usual ones. If you need help, just let us know. Like, we're here to help you. And then, yeah, tutoring is not mandatory, but it is definitely recommended. And our grading policy, so you will be given a grade based on the classes that you're taking. It's going to be on a 4.0 grading scale. Again, like, if you're having trouble participating or completing your work, just let us know. And then at the end of the summer program, there's going to be an assessment that your instructors will have for you, just saying what you've done well in the subject, things that you still need to work on.
And so as we're kind of going into talking about our grading policy, one thing is to recognize that since we are affiliated with CU, and our whole program is about preparing you for like higher education, academic opportunities, we really want to make sure that we emphasize that there'll still be an honor code and a like sort of code of ethics around plagiarism. And so that, you know, we want to make sure that you guys are still held up to that higher standard on that cause level of, you know, having academic honesty and avoiding plagiarism. An example of that plagiarism can be taking someone's idea without giving them proper credit, you know, like failing to know who you got your idea from, not being able to properly source things and all that kind of stuff. And so since we are like a college preparatory program, it wouldn't make sense for us to not have those same expectations of you all. And so that's one thing we want to emphasize during this program. And we recognize that academic honesty isn't a clear-cut issue. Sometimes it could be a lack of motivation, various stressors, issues with the classes. And so if that ever does come up, feel free to talk to any of your PCs about that subject or any of your instructors, and we will do our best to reach out to you. And so we'd rather treat it at the root rather than treat a symptom. And so one other thing that we will be having is PC community time. And so everyone's going to be assigned a PC. And so what is a PC? A PC is a peer counselor that you'll have throughout the program. And so they'll kind of be your mentor as you go through the program. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1:30 to 3 p.m., your PCs will be hosting like virtual activities for you to participate in, just so you guys kind of know each other, as well as bond with your PC, as there is a mentorship aspect of the program as well. And so that's like a great time to just get to meet other students in this program, as well as other people, other PCs as well. And so that's like a very underrated part of the program, is that, you know, these connections that you make with your PC can last you a lifetime. In my many years of working with this program, I know many people who are still really close to their PCs, who even though they're no longer in the program anymore, but now they're in like the collegiate level, or whatever higher education they choose to go with, they still look up to their PCs for help. They still keep in contact, and vice versa. And so that's really one thing that's really that we really emphasize here at PCDP. And so one thing too is, so even though the program is online, we still have to emphasize that there should be an aspect of safety to it. And so what that kind of means for us is we want to make sure that everyone feels safe to express their individual background and beliefs while keeping our respect for each other. And so we want to make sure that people are able to still grow and develop critically and learn how to think at the same time, keeping it respectful and just making sure that everything aligns with our code of conduct and our values. And so we want to make sure that everyone feels safe and respected throughout the duration of the program.
Hi, you guys. I just like to mention that if you haven't seen in the chat, if you have any questions so far to ask us, we will address them at the end of our slideshow. But please feel free to type your questions in the chat. So reporting online incidents. So there's cases where you feel unsafe or someone's hacking, your Zoom classes and it really kind of offends you. So if that's the case, please notify your parents and then have them talk to Amy or Victor. Here again are their phone numbers and their emails. So they're really important, so write them down. And if you're feeling unsafe in any situation, please take a screenshot or get some documentation and send it to Amy and Victor. We also believe that self-care and mental awareness is really important, and taking care of yourself while in quarantine can be kind of hard and you need somebody to talk to. So all your PCs are here to, and we're all committed to helping you. If you're feeling just sad one day or something happens where you just want to talk about it, we're here for you. And we will do our best to communicate how to deal with it or to just release your mind. It's been mentioned before, but we have some online platforms. We will be using Zoom.
Hang on, give me a sec.
Why did I bring my keys? Hey, Gary, lock my charger. Can you lock it?
Okay, now unmute yourself, DJ. DJ, you're muted.
Great, sorry, great. So as mentioned before, we will be using 2 online platforms. We will be using Zoom and Google Classroom. Congratulations, you guys, you already mastered Zoom. But if you need help in our handbook, there's instructions on how to download it. We will have classes on Zoom Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, again, we'll be tutoring office hours and PC time. The Google Classroom, we will assign you guys your own email, and you will get it closer to the program date. You will use this to log into Google Classroom and use it for your classes, assignments, homework, grades, etc. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Now we're moving on to live class etiquette. So, while an instructor or classmate is speaking, you can send any questions you have through the chat like we're doing now or the Q&A section. And make sure to mute yourself when you're not speaking. When you're done speaking, make sure to mute yourself again. So, just in case when you're on the toilet while you're in class, we don't want to hear anything like flushing or anything. So you all, so be respectful to yourself and others at all times. So really think before you speak or type. Think about your words. Maybe you can hurt someone or send the wrong message sometimes. So really think about your actions before you do it. You will be given access to the chat function. So again, be kind, be courteous. Do not abuse this power. And do not post any offensive language. So curse words or insulting language towards any group of people are not allowed. Do not post or share any photos or videos of yourself that might be compromising your character. So think about the ramification of your videos or photos before posting them. and keeping them as professional as possible. So you should be actively participating in topics in your classrooms, as well as the activities. And do not share the Zoom link with anybody else so we don't get Zoom bombs. That would be really bad. During this program, we will be working on the CU Boulder admission application. So basically, PCDP has a unique partnership with the CU Office of Admissions. So you will be able to apply to admissions while you're a junior in high school, which most people are not likely to do that. And the students will be the first students to apply for fall of 2021. And the students are given the opportunity to have their application fee waived. And during the program, we'll work on your CU application, as well as the fine-tuning the essay needed for the application. And here's the important part. By June 8th, all students will need to submit the following to Amy. And this is her email again. So we need 2 letters of recommendation. You can tell your high school teachers to email this to Amy. And also your high school transcripts. It can be an unofficial transcript, but you must include all the grades for all the classes you've taken from freshman year to junior year so far. And also the email verification showing completion of the common application. So this should have been done by the previous academy, but if you haven't done that yet, you should really, this is your opportunity to email that verification to Amy. So to keep up to date with everything happening, you can follow us on social media and keep a lookout for our emails. And you can check out resources like financial aid tips, scholarship database, other stuff to keep you on track for your post-secondary success. So visit this website and please add us on Instagram and follow us on Facebook. Again, this is the PCDP administrative staff contact information. There's Amy and Victor. All right, thank you for your time. If there are questions, comments, or concerns, please send them through the chat.
So one of the questions asked in the chat was, you know, one of the biggest parts about the PCDP summer program was this experience of living in the dorms. And they've asked, how does this online experience contribute to that purpose, you know, with online college being more relevant to the class of 2020 rather than our class? To answer that question, yes, we do agree that living in the dorms is an important part of the summer program, which kind of holds to a college experience. However, with this entire pandemic happening, with social isolation, everyone is unsure what's going to happen in the future. We aren't sure if classes are going to be virtually in the next, who knows, 5 years. And if that is the case, then it's most likely that virtual classes are going to be the new college situation in our life. But unfortunately, due to this pandemic, we are going to have to adjust to different settings. Any other questions or thoughts?
So there was a question. By the way, hi everyone. My name is Amy Molina. I'm the program director for the high school program. Ashley asked, should we attend all PCP meetings? Did you mean the PCP community meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Do you want to clarify? I'm assuming that's what she's meaning. So everything is mandatory except for office hours and tutoring. And then the SAT prep class is optional. You did have to sign into that, or you did have to sign up to that prior to last week. We do want to be flexible with you all, though. I know some students have reached out to me because you have jobs, you have family responsibilities, things like that. So if you do have something that comes up and you can't make it to the live classes, if you can't make it to one of the sessions, please communicate that to either myself or to your instructors. We still want you to participate as much as you can, but like I said, we are willing to be flexible with you. And then as far, just a clarification, all of the live classes on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays will be recorded. So then those will be put on Google Classroom. So even if you just want to revisit the lecture, or if you can't make it to class, that will be there for you to see. But make sure if you can't make it that you are communicating that with somebody.
So another, oh, were you going to say something?
Yeah, so I was going to say, so Angel Reese, I think that kind of answers your question. If you have a work schedule that doesn't seem to work out with the class schedule and things like that, please email me and we can see what we can work out with that. So there's a question on teacher recommendations. So the letters of recommendation, just a reminder that they're for your application to CU Boulder, not for the program. And so this would be for your entry to CU Boulder as a student in the fall of 2021. So even if you're not interested in coming to CU Boulder, it's just something that we require of you as a participant of the CU Boulder program. So your recommendation can come from anybody, a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a boss, anybody who knows you and can write a letter that explains your academics, your leadership abilities, charisma, anything like that. If you've been involved in sports, school activities, all of that good stuff, basically saying why you would be a good student at CU Boulder. So what if something happens and you need to leave in the middle of a meeting? Again, we know that things come up, so just please communicate. That's the best that we can answer to that. Make sure you let either your peer counselor or your instructor know. Regarding college credit, so unfortunately, because of the pandemic and the modified schedule that we are doing, we aren't able to offer college credit. So you'll still get graded on your classes and we'll still send a transcript from this summer program's grades to your high school. And it's up to your high school if they want to give you high school credit. But unfortunately, we can't give you college credit this summer. So you should have your recommendations letters sent to us by June 8th. If you need a little bit more time getting those into us, we can be flexible with that as well. And yes, you can use those, if you want to use those letters as you're applying to other colleges, I would communicate that to whoever's writing your letter, so then that they don't make it specific to say, I'm writing this letter for this student to CU Boulder. Have them make it general to say, this student would be an excellent candidate or an excellent student at your college. You'll find your letters, you'll find out your mentors for the program by the start of the program. If you have your letters of recommend, some teachers don't feel comfortable sharing. I know they don't feel comfortable sharing the letters of recommendation directly with you all. So if they've sent them to you, you can either email them to me, or you can give my email to your instructor so that they can email them out. If you get accepted into other colleges, yes, we would like you all to let us know. That will typically during your senior year, we have Maria who works with our seniors, and her team, they reach out to our seniors to find out what school you've decided to attend. So you all will be taking college prep, math and journalism, or math and writing, but there'll be 5 different sections for every class. So you all aren't going to be in the same class, if that makes sense. So the application, is this application binding, like early decision applications? So this, typically during the summer program, all of our participants are able to find out if they're accepted into the university by the end of the program. But unfortunately this year, because of the pandemic, you all have not been able to take the SAT. So right now, that's controlled by the state legislature. And because they haven't been in session, we haven't heard an update as to whether or not they're going to make it non-test, waive the test for applications. So as of right now, we're kind of waiting to see what they say about the SAT. And then as soon as you all are able to take that, that will be added to your application, and then your applications will be processed.
Also, Amy, on that note, the question is asking if it's binding like other early decision applications. We'd like to clarify that if you do get accepted to CU Boulder through this early application process, you will have the opportunity to come to CU Boulder, but it is not binding. You are not forced to come to CU Boulder just because you got accepted here. In fact, at Colorado State University, we also work with a department there, I believe, Amy, to transfer potential scholarships over. So if you do get accepted to CU Boulder, that's what it means. You got accepted to CU Boulder, you're not forced to go there. You can go to any other college you want, and if it's in state, we can see if they will transfer over any scholarships like CSU.
Also,
So go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, so one of the participants asked, what are the pros and cons of not completing the program? Well, in terms of the summer program, it really depends on what the situation is. For example, if you have to leave for a family emergency, then we do understand that maybe it'll be better to leave the program to assist to more family situations. But in terms of leaving the program entirely, it does leave out some benefits of being in PCDP, and that mainly having access to a somewhat version of college experience as well as scholarships at the end as well. So those are some of the pros and cons between leaving the summer program versus leaving the entire program as a whole. So, and then Amy, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say completing the program so the PCD program doesn't end just now after the summer. It continues on through your senior year. So by completing the program, you are eligible for a scholarship if you come to CU Boulder, or if you go to CU Denver. And then if you go to Fort Collins, we recommend you for our partner's scholarship with them. Somebody asked, what if a college accepted me for the fall school year? That doesn't necessarily, that's great. Like Kyle I think Simon mentioned earlier, even if you aren't interested in attending CU Boulder, it's just kind of a routine procedure that we have everybody apply. Just because you apply and you're accepted doesn't mean that you're forced to come here. Just giving you all another option and just trying to expose you to what the application process is going to be like ahead of time, so you kind of get a feel like that for that. And then since CU Boulder uses the common application, you'll already have that completed, so you can use that for other schools as well.
Well, and not only that, like just completing the program, and if like you do get accepted, like you can use that and tokenize that for applying to other schools, because other schools will be like, oh, you've already been accepted to CU Boulder, like that's really cool. Like then that would raise up your standard also, like, and put a really good image on you, like for being accepted very early to university.
Mhm.
And
So
then
there's a
Someone,
question, DU doesn't require SATs. That's because DU is a private school, so they're governed differently and they can make their own kind of decisions with those things. But CU is a public school, so there's a little bit of a difference with that.
also, I don't think it was ever stated to us students, us CU students specifically, why they aren't making exceptions. They're just, we're in as much of the loop as you all are. We've only recently learned that CU will be coming back for the fall, so we're just getting information trickling out. So anything made public that y'all will hear about, it's the same information we're getting as CU students.
So since we're not going to receive college credit through PCDP, can we use these classes for our high schools? So like I mentioned, our grading scale is a 4.0 scale. We send our grading scale with a letter and then your transcript to your high schools. So it's up to your high school how they would apply that to your transcript. And it's up to your individual high school to determine if that's gonna help your GPA. We work with a lot of high schools, so it's hard to have a consistent approach for that all. The only partner scholarship that we have at the moment is with CSU. If we finish our degree that CU Boulder doesn't have available and come back. So if you get accepted into CU Boulder, you can defer enrollment, but I believe that only is for a year. So if you go back to finish a degree or to work on a degree at another school, and then you want to come to CU Boulder, you'd have to apply as a transfer student. And then again, there's a question about the SATs, but again, well, I'll have admissions send out an email communication explaining that more in detail. But like I said, that's controlled by the state legislature. If you have questions about participating in the program, please email me directly about that. If you have questions about participating in the summer program. And just for clarification on that, typically our residential program only has 2 sections of 2 classes that offer college credit. So if we would have had our residential program on campus, we would have only had 1 section of writing, which is about 20 students, and then about 20 students in the journalism class that would have qualified for college credit. So a lot of, just to kind of reiterate what the peer counselors have been saying throughout the presentation, the program it's based a lot on the experiences that you're gonna get. So even though we've moved to an online format, it is our hope, through these classes through college prep that we're gonna offer, that we can still guide you through your college journey and helping you decide what schools you're gonna apply to, financial aid, scholarships, all of those kind of things, helping you refine your skills in writing, helping you refine your skills in math and those kind of things. Austin, in terms of your question for the SAT score, we don't have a definite answer for that because, as things are reopening and the pandemic seems to calm down, I'm not certain if the legislature will make a decision on waiving SAT scores or what that's going to look like. So we just kind of got to hang on tight until we get a straight answer in that.
And then one of the participants said that regardless of if this program was to be in person or not, some students would not receive college credit. The answer to that question is yes. As based on what Amy said, the summer program, it's based on the college experience?
Yeah, if this program was in person, for Taylor's question, not everyone would receive college credit, because that's why we had like one of the Saturday academies where you would take a test, and that test would determine a select few like number of students who would be taking that journalism class that would get college credit. When I went through the program, I didn't get college credit, but you know, the experience was worth it.
I agree with what DJ is saying. Even though I didn't get college credit, I loved the program. Just even getting to know everybody in the program. I'm still friends with a bunch of them today, like Kaio, Leo, Simon, DJ, like all of the other PCs that are on here as well. Coming into college and having that like select few students that I actually recognized was really helpful in starting and supporting me in college, because it was my first time going to college, obviously. My family had never gone to college, so I was a first generation student. So we had no idea what was going to happen or what to expect, but having those like connections and having PCDP to help me and support me if I needed any help or had any questions was like one of the main things that I think I succeeded when I first started in college.
So really quickly, we only have a few minutes left before we have to wrap up, because we have our Spanish orientation that will take place at 4. If you have questions that weren't answered, please email me and I'll get back to you personally on those. If you do need a computer or a hotspot, please reach out to me tonight. We are planning on making the delivery of computers tomorrow. And then if you signed up for the SAT prep course, we did send out materials to you earlier this week. So you should be receiving 2 packets with the practice exams and information about that class. And then please, and this goes out to everybody, please be checking your email on the regular, because as we get closer to the start of the program, I'm going to be sending you information on how to join your classes, on the codes that you need to join your classes on Google Classroom, and then an email specific for the program that you'll be using this summer. And then for the other thing, for those of you that will be taking the SAT prep class, once you receive those packets, we would like you to do a pre-test, but the instructor of the class will be reaching out to you for that as well. So. I think that's it. Victor and Teresa, did you want to introduce yourselves really quickly?
Yeah, I'll introduce myself real quick. Hi, my name is Victor Hernandez. I'm the assistant director for the program. Like Amy was saying, if you need anything, please contact me. You have all my information right there on the slide. And I'm excited for this program. Just real quick for all the students and parents, this is our first ever virtual summer program. So we're kind of making history in the making. So I'm really excited about that. Please bear with us. I know everything is online. I have 2 kids myself. I have a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. So I know it can be a little stressful, but I'm excited for you all to be part of the very first virtual summer program of PCDP. And trust me, it's going to be worth it. It shows your character for all your families out there. It's an investment. It's an investment for yourself. It's an investment for your family. You can definitely put this as a resume builder. You can definitely put this as a bragging point. You can definitely put this as something that you are very proud of. And you can say that you were a part of history. And so I'm excited. If you have any questions, like I said before, let me know. Thank you, everybody.
My name is Teresa Manchego. I'm the director of the overall pre-collegiate program. I want to welcome everybody, and hopefully you'll enjoy our virtual program this summer. I know it'll be different, but I know that you will make it through the 4 weeks of the program. I also want to give a special thank you to Amy Molina. She has been working very diligently and hard putting this whole program together with some assistance from Victor Hernandez. And without her, basically, we wouldn't have a summer program. So, you know, just when you do get a chance to meet with her or send a shout out to her and thank her for putting this program together. And you know, hopefully you'll enjoy it and you'll get to meet your peer counselors and get to know all the other students a lot better. Okay, you guys take care, and I'll hand it back to Amy.
So I think that's all that we have for today. Like I mentioned, please continue to check your emails and then send any questions that were not answered to my email, and I'll get back to you on those. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, see you all.